AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Thanks for joining us on the Overcomers Overcoming podcast series, where we profile those who have overcome or those who are in the process of overcoming a life topic. We have three purposes in this podcast series. One, for those who are going through a life topic, we want for them to know they are not alone, that there are others who have either experienced what they're going through or they have some ideas of how they can lend support to those who are going through a life topic. Our second objective is that we want people to know that there are multiple solutions to any life topic, life challenge that a person may be going through. That at the time that you're going through a life challenge, you may not think that there are multiple solutions, but we are believers that there actually are multiple solutions. The third thing is, if you're going through or are experiencing a life topic because of a choice you made sometime in the past, and if you had a life redo, you would make a different decision. We want to help you with the critical thinking skills to help you make a better informed decision in future events. I'm Ron Cooper, founder of the Cooper Culture. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Marty. Together, we are the Cooper Culture who are sponsoring this podcast series. Today, Marty and I want to take the opportunity to talk with you about interviewing. We wanted to address this series today from the standpoint of the applicant. It is challenging sometimes for an applicant to overcome the fear they have because, quite honestly, will I answer the questions correctly? Will I come across as a competent person and so forth? But I enter all of this with a fear. We're going to address this also from the interviewer perspective. That there's some interviewers that are conducting the interview who think that, I just wish I knew exactly how to select the right person, because I know if I don't, it could cost me anywhere $65,000 or above to select the right person. So I sometimes go into an interview apprehensive to hopefully I find the right person. Some people interview well, but we don't find out until maybe 6 months later that no, they are not the right person. Marty, what are some things that we can add to this to help the interviewer or the applicant along with the interviewer and to help overcome some apprehensions?
Ron, as you go through the interview process, I'm going to be asking you questions and as to what I think the interviewee would be wanting to know how to answer. So that's the role I'll be playing today.
Great. Marty, let's get started and let's see if we can add value and help people to really approach this interview process with a lot of confidence. Marty, let's start the process of interviewing by saying that we want to address both the applicant and the interviewer. Let's just start out from the applicant's perspective that once an applicant applies for a position, and it could be even before they are selected to have an interview, it should be incumbent on the applicant to learn as much about the company as they can. I think personally, ideally, I wouldn't even apply for a position unless I know the company represents my values and I have reason to believe that I can function well at that company. I will tell you that, yes, while many of us say, well, there's no way I could turn down a job offer, I can tell you with certainty that if the company that you're working at is not aligned with your values, if the people don't trust each other, we don't communicate, you're not going to be in harmony there, and it's just not going to be a good fit. And you may say, well, gosh, I'm just not happy here, but I can't leave this because I got a paycheck coming in. So Marty, let's address some aspects of the interview from the applicant's perspective.
Right. My first question would be to you is, where would the applicant for the job research the company?
Well, and that's a great place to start. Great question, Marty. That one of the first places I would go is the website. I want to see what is available from the website that I can learn more about that company. Are they a large company, a small, medium? And where are they located? Where are they headquarters? Do they have multiple offices? But I want to know the type work that they're doing. And so I want to learn about that. That's kind of a top level. I also want to dig further into learning the company culture. I want to just find out who the people are, what they're about, what are they? Do they work on limited contracts, limited term contracts, such that I want to go into this interview knowing that my position may be for just the length of this contract. So the contract is 3, 4, 5 years long. I hope I have the opportunity to stay with the company longer than that, but I want my expectations to be aligned with the type work that is available through that company, but I also want to learn the people, the culture as much as I can.
Okay, you're mentioning values and culture. Where would the applicant go to find out what the values and the culture is of the company?
Well, sometimes the values are listed on the company website. That sometimes is known as core values. There are sometimes they're listed on the website, but if they're not, I want to know what they are, and I need to know what my values are. That's where I start first. My values, such as integrity, honesty, truthfulness, communication, trust, those kind of things. Are they high on my priority list? And if yes to that, then I want to know more about the company. What can I expect? And so a lot of these things are not going to be immediately available on the website, but it'll give me some insight into this company, particularly if the core values are listed. But what I would do, Marty, is I would go further and I would talk with the HR or Human Relations Department. It could be a talent manager, it could be a position recruiter, any number of topics that are let's say our position assignments for this type thing. But ultimately, I may need to, and I may want to talk with someone in human relations, and I'm going to ask them these questions: that what are the company values? And so, what I want to do, we're going to be talking throughout this podcast about open-ended questions. A closed-end question is yes, no. An open-ended question is you have to give me some answer. That's tell such as. Does a closed-end question: does your company have core values? Yes. No further discussion. However, an open-ended question would be of the type: tell me something more about trust. How do you develop trust amongst your employees? I need to know that. But those are the kind of things that I want to know about. What values are important to me? And I want to know if my values and the prospective company's values align.
So the applicant now has an appointment for the interview, but they want to know, where do they go to find the full description of the position they're applying for? They may have just gotten a paragraph or two about the job description, but they want a full one. Where would they go?
That's a very important question. And here, Marty, is a question that is very relevant to the program manager. The program manager is the one who develops or is normally developing the job description. Now, how comprehensive is the job description? That is, in the job description, you frequently learn about the type work that's being done. You want to learn, you possibly can learn about a job experience that we really need somebody who has experience in whatever that is. And So it's the job description. I have learned from experience that many program managers do not know how to write a meaningful job description. Therefore, you're not soliciting the right people. Quite honestly, you have a target market that from which you are soliciting the ideal candidate. Some of the job descriptions are not written well enough. So if an applicant wants to know more about or what should I look for, I can help them to determine exactly what to look for. And if the job description is not comprehensive enough, let's go to the HR person, who may in turn have to go to the program manager, say, hey, I've got a person here who's asking some in-depth questions, and they want to know more about this position before they come in for the job interview. That's the level of, I use the term tenacity, persistence, that I want to know about this position. I want to know about the company, and I want to be totally prepared for the interview. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do up front before the interview to ensure that I know everything I feel as if I want to know. I want to have a confidence that I'm fully prepared for this.
Okay, now the applicant has a date. Can they ask the name or names of people that will be interviewing them?
Sure. I'm a type person that I would like to know as much information as I can, and very possibly the HR person, and that's the person I will with whom most likely I would be speaking. The HR person might tell you that, well, we haven't decided yet who's going to be the interviewing, and to some degree the name of the person might be irrelevant. However, it is, for me personally, it's appropriate to ask something about the interviewer, that male, female, age, and can you tell me a little bit about the person's personality, so that I'm fully prepared. I go into the interview knowing that, yep, I know exactly what to expect.
Okay, so now we're at the point of interviewing, and you've talked about, you have 4 seconds for first impression.
Now, the timing is, can be a little bit different. I mean, some people say 7, 17, but the point being, you generally do not have a second opportunity to make a first impression. So, smile. Always smile. Handshake. Be the person to initiate a handshake. Personally, I like a firm handshake. Now, if I'm interviewing with a female, I certainly don't want to crush her hand, but I will generally go in with the thought, I want a firm handshake, because now I'm projecting a confident persona. I don't want to be intimidating. So I've got to balance all these things. That I want eye contact. Some people don't like eye contact, but I'm the person, I'm going to start out with eye contact. I'm going to be the first one to say, hello, it's great to be with you. Good morning, or whatever, a greeting. And I want to project a confident, not arrogant, but a confident persona, that I know who I am, and I'm looking forward to this because I want to know more about you. I want you to know more about me, and I'm going into this with a confident persona that I want to make sure as best I can that we have a good match, that I'm the right person that you're looking for, and you're the right company that I'm looking for.
You just talked about eye contact. I also know that you've talked about matching and mirroring. Okay, so you have an interviewer that is to the point, fast talking, but you're the personality that you're a little bit slower. You aren't used to maybe fast talking or hands and stuff like that. How does the applicant adapt to and recognize the interviewer for their personality?
Martha, that's a very perceptive question. And the closer I can come to adapting to the interviewer's personality, mannerisms, and so forth, the greater the likelihood I am going to make the interviewer comfortable, the greater the likelihood that we will identify with each other and just communicate better. So the person who's, let's just say the talking speed. Yes, I may be a slow talker and I'm not used to talking real fast. I'm not saying I have to come across as plastic or to be someone I'm not, but if I try to adapt to and match the person's rate of speed, these are things I'm looking for. So I want to be aware of your speed of talking, the volume of your voice, your eye contact. Are you looking at me? Because I'm going to try to match you. If, as the interviewer, if you're not looking at me, if you're looking down at the page more than you're looking at me, all right, I don't want to force you to do something that might make you, interviewer, feel uncomfortable, but I want to do what I can to try to match you. Marty, there are some interviewers who are uncomfortable interviewing, and I may be arriving as being uncomfortable as the applicant, but the more confident I am, the more confident I can make the interviewer feel, and the more we are genuinely relating to each other, connecting, quite honestly, the greater the likelihood that I'm going to be, as a minimum, get a good referral from this, even if I'm not the right candidate. Am I making sense of how to mirror and match without being a fake?
Right. But, and I'm going to say here, maybe the applicant could get with someone and have someone be kind of like the coach and coach them through and teach them how to recognize what the personality of the interviewer.
No, you're right, Barney. And some people may think, well, I don't need to be coached about an applicant, as an applicant, to apply for a job. Well, these are some techniques that you may, as I'm telling you about these things, you may think, well, no, I've never thought about that. I'm not sure I feel all that comfortable trying to mirror and match without coming across as being a fake. Sure. As Marty, always that coaching, having a dry run session, that of course the more comfortable you are in a setting, and we may start out just at home across the table with a mock interview. I can coach you on that and just say that, well, here's how you can maybe more closely identify with this type of interviewer to mirror and match what that person is doing.
So if you're not comfortable adapting and like that, and the interviewer has a different personality than you, could that be used against you?
Well, okay.
How does the interviewer see the person that does not have the same personality as they do?
Well, okay. Here's something that how I would process that. Okay, if I think that you're getting a negative impression of me simply because of employing the techniques we're talking about, then here's the truth that I know can happen, Marty. If you're looking for something negative in me, I can almost guarantee you'll find it. However, if you're looking for something positive, I can guarantee you'll find that. And so I want to be able to discern, and that's a part of the company culture. Do I think you're looking for something negative? Are you looking for a reason not to hire me? I understand you want the best, most qualified person, but I think everybody has value. And so are you looking for something negative or are you looking for something positive? That's what I want to discern. That's a part of a company's culture. And because everybody has something of value, even though I'm not the most qualified, not the best person for the position for which I am interviewing, maybe I can get a good reference that I am hoping that maybe there's a position out there with another company that within your circle of influence that you would give me that good recommendation. So that's where I'm coming from, Marty.
Sure. All right. We've talked about the applicant and the interviewing process, them and how they come across. Now, you have said, Ron, that the applicant can interview the company. And so, and you earlier you explained open and ended questions such that you can ask the company the same thing, so that it's not a yes or no question coming back to the applicant. And you've said that having a dialogue with the interviewer. Explain dialogue with the interviewer.
No, it's a great question, Marty. And here's where I'm coming from with this. That there's no perfect company. Let's just acknowledge that up front. But where I am working with a company whose values align with mine, and right there, how would I know that? Well, I have to know what the company values are, because I know what my values are. Now, as the interviewer, you may not ask me what my values are, but you should be able to discern my values by the type questions I'm asking you about your company values. I mean, why would I ask about your company values in, let's just say, truth, integrity, trust, communication, and so forth, if I didn't care about that? So it is incumbent, and I can almost promise you most interviewers are going to think, oh my goodness, I've never had a person interview me the way this person is asking about our company. That I want to make certain that the questions I ask are not readily available on the website, because I could show myself as being unstudied if I ask those kind of questions. So I want to make sure that I've done all of my due diligence about the company. And the questions I'm asking are ones that just aren't readily available on a website. They are available, discernible through conversation. So I'm asking, I'm just curious. Let's just take one example, Marty, that let's just say that 7:30 a.m. is a normal report time for work. Let's just say that you don't hear from me and you don't know anything about me by 10 o'clock. I'm curious, how would you process that? How would you treat that? Is there immediate contempt that, well, this person's late, and or is it, no, we're not even going to wait until 10 o'clock, that we want to make sure that that we know, because you're always punctual, that I'm not going to wait till that long. I just want to check in on you, just make sure everything is all right. One of the intrinsic values is, how can I know you care about me? And that's something I want to know. And so I can hear you say it, I can watch your lips move, but if what I'm hearing you say does not match the company culture, then you think, well, I hear what you're saying, but I just don't see care. So I want to know, how can I discern if you care about me, because it matters.
Okay, I want to ask too, I have some thoughts about other questions that you can ask at this time.
Sure.
You can ask, tell me if I'm right or not, training, leave policy, raises, promotions, your interest in, the applicant fits the job. So what's the future within this company as far as I said, training, raises, promotions?
Sure. Marty, everything is on the table from my perspective. That, yeah, there are some trade secrets that, the interviewer may say, well, that's, a trade secret. I can't divulge that to you. It's not appropriate. But we sometimes hear that people are our most important product here in this company. Okay, I hear that a lot. But I will know what the value of that statement is by asking to see something of your budget. That is, if people are your most important product, can you show me something about the training that you have for people? That do you train your people to communicate better? Do you train your people to know to trust? Attitudes. Attitude is everything, but do you train your people to develop a very positive mindset, which is an attitude? These kind of things don't occur naturally. I may have the propensity to do that, but do you have a training program? These are things that tell me what the company is about. And yes, your leave policy, all these things, leave. Everything is negotiable, Marty. Everything. And if you have some amount of experience and you say, okay, can you advance me X number, or just start me out with 60 days of leave on the book? Everything's negotiable. And so don't hold anything back that some people may feel very uncomfortable. Oh, this seems inappropriate to even ask. I say, no, it's not inappropriate to ask. Everything is negotiable. Ask and have a dialogue. And the more probing the question, the more it shows your interest in the company. That, yeah, these are some pretty probing questions. And this person is interviewing me. They want to know about the company. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. And hopefully the applicant will have a positive opinion of the company. But there could be, the applicant could say, this company is not for me. And they feel like it's not the best one for them. So is this the time that you would tell the person that's interviewing, this is not for me? What language? What language would you use to tell them, I just don't think this company would work for me?
You know, Marty, that would be a very difficult position to be in, but I will tell you that harmony at work is frequently going to relate to harmony at home. That is, harmony at work. Am I at a place where the people respect me? Do they want to help develop me, and so forth? If, after discussing the values with the interviewer, and I'm learning about the company, if I feel there's just not a match, I don't think there's any language. I mean, certainly you want to be congenial, but it's appropriate. And there's nothing wrong by saying, I really appreciate your candor in learning about your company, but I just don't think that I'm the right fit, the best fit for your company. And you're telling the interviewer up front that, no, I just don't think that I am the right person. And you may come across just exceptional with the interview, the questions you're asking. Everything is eminently positive. But if you think that, no, this is just not the right company, I can almost promise you what you're sensing from the interview, you will sense during a job and employment there that this is just not a right fit. So let's just make sure that we're up front here. And as difficult as it may be to say, boy, I hate to turn down an employment opportunity, but I just don't feel that this is going to be the right match. I don't feel that, quite honestly, you're saying, and I would not go so far as to say that your values are just off the charts wrong. I wouldn't go as far as say that, but I would say that I just don't feel that I'm the best fit for you, that kind of thing. And Marty, again, it's difficult to say that, well, gosh, man, would I turn down a job when I am, quote, desperate for money? Well, that is a judgment call you have to make. And so it's a matter now of, I'm bringing in a paycheck, but I don't like anything I'm doing about this company, and it's just things aren't right. So these are the things you have to think about before the interview.
Right. And I'm of the belief that if you didn't like this company, there is a company you would like. I have the question, it's about 3 questions here I'm going to ask you. First of all, the person saying, hey, this is not my company, or I don't think it would work, and feeling like that looks bad on them. But does this, my first question is, does this speak well for the applicant being honest with the company? And could the company look at themselves and think, I'm learning from what this applicant has said to me about my company, because they say it's not a fit for me. And if the applicant went to another company but yet told them they had an interview with this other company, didn't take it, could company the second company they're interviewing with go back to the first company, and the first company would give them a referral because they were so honest.
And I think everything what you're suggesting, Marty, can have a positive aspect of it. I'm not in the business of denigrating companies or people, but if I feel this is not the right fit, I want to tell you, can this reflect positively on me? Sure. I think that is very definitely positive. I will tell you that the person, the applicant who interviews the company, is going to be in the rare category. Very few applicants interview the company. They feel that, well, it's not appropriate to do that. Well, I think very definitely it is appropriate. And so the more junior you are in the work experience, the more it's going to be uncomfortable to you to interview the company. I want to do everything I can to try to increase a person's confidence that, yes, it is appropriate for you to interview the company. And you should come out of this with a very positive impression, or the interviewer should have a very positive impression of you. But again, if that person does not, then maybe this company has a culture that is just not right. It's not meant for me. And so if I'm interviewing with the second company and they've asked me if I've interviewed with another, I said yes, I did, and I didn't think that company was the right fit for me. Again, I'm not in the business of denigrating another company, but if I can be very honest with you, just say I did not feel that I was the right fit for that company. And but could that company come back to me and just say, well, you were such a positive influence on me from the interview. Can I learn something more from you? Oh, definitely, that could happen. Could definitely happen. And so can the interviewer learn something from an applicant? Oh, absolutely. And so don't think that these kind of things can't or won't happen. Project a very positive confidence persona, but don't cross the line of being arrogant is what I would recommend.
Okay, so Ron, now we're at the end of the interview and it's over. Is it appropriate to ask, say you had more, 2 or 3 interviewing people, is it appropriate to ask their names and their position so that you have recommended writing back a thank you letter for the interview to each individual that interviewed you?
Certainly is. Marty, always you want to know who you're interviewing with, their position. It's always appropriate to follow up with a thank you letter. Now, some people say a handwritten letter. To me, I'm not sure it matters that much, handwritten or typed. But see, when I follow up with a thank you, this to me is a very positive follow through. It's what am I thinking? Do I have the wherewithal to say, well, thank you. I hope that I am considered. If you like the company and what you learned from that, I hope I am favorably considered. I always like to come away from an interview saying, what can I expect next? Nothing that just leave it open-ended. I don't know what to expect, when, and so. No, I want to know. I want to know what I can expect. The timing of okay, when do you anticipate making a decision? And so I know from that when to expect your decision on a hire. But before you make that decision, I want to send a thank you letter just saying thank you for the opportunity to meet with you. And if there's some aspects of the company with which I'm impressed, I think it's appropriate to say that as well.
Well, you just answered my last question as to what's next. So that's all the questions I have.
Well, Marty, what do you think? Am I hireable? Am I ready to start to work with you?
Yes.
All right, Marty, these are the kind of things that we want to help people with a confidence. And we know that from life experience, work experience, the more confident you are, the better persona you will project. And again, we want to make sure that you're not crossing the line of being arrogant, but You want to know as much as you can about yourself, the company, and where there's a match. We'd say, yep, you can leave an interview thinking, I feel like I'm the right match for this company. They may decide to go with someone else, but I don't take that as you're no good. It's just that I'm not going to be the right person, the best qualified for every company, but I'm going to walk away with confidence that if not you, there's some company out there that, yep, I'll find the right company. I'm persistent enough. I will find the right company. We're going to find the right match. And hey, together we can make some good things happen. So Marty, thank you for the opportunity to share with you, our listeners. And I'm very interested in learning what others think and what experiences they have had. But let's share together some insights and the good, bad, or the ugly. Let's talk about it. Let us know your thoughts about the interviewing process, both as the applicant and the interviewer, if you have experience with interviews. We're very interested in learning about your experience in this process. We know from our life and work experience that as an applicant, many people are just uncertain. They're apprehensive about the interview, just how to conduct themselves. To interview the company just seems to be counterintuitive for some. But we want to help the applicant to overcome any fears they have. If you are an applicant and you are about to interview for a position, call me. I'll be happy to help you, coach you through and into the experience of being a very confident applicant. Call me at 410-586-1875 or Ron at the Cooper Culture. And let's get together and be happy to work with you to coach you through that interviewing process. If you are an interviewer who has developed a way that you feel pretty confident that you can select the right person, I'm very interested in knowing what you think about the interview process, what experiences you have, what you have learned. As we said in the interview, or in the podcast itself, it's very common that if you have to replace a person that just didn't work out, it could cost $65,000 or more to replace that person, retrain, recruit, everything that's required to find the person that you're looking for. So let us know what experience you've had. I want to share the experiences. Let's engage together to share what it is we've learned. We also want to make you aware that Marty and I have developed a digital relationship course. It is designed for dating and leading into marriage, but it is about personal relationships, and we want to make that available to you. We are working on a workplace relationship course. There's some overlap between dating and workplace, but it has to do with just getting along with people, developing trust. How do you develop a connected relationship? How is trust developed? Trust is needed in any type of connected relationship to be very effective. We hope that through this series we can earn a 5-star rating and that you'll want to subscribe to this series. Again, our purpose is to help people overcome any challenges they are experiencing, and together we can work through anything and everything that a person is experiencing. So engage with us. Let us know what it is that you have overcome, any challenges that you have overcome that can benefit the rest of us. And the more we dialogue with each other and engage, the better we're going to be in sharing each other's experiences to be able to work through any and all challenges that we have to work through. We look forward to engaging with you and look forward to learning about your experiences.